You're at a barbecue. The person next to you is untouched. You're covered in bites. It's not bad luck, and it's not your imagination. Mosquitoes are genuinely choosing you, and there's a specific physical reason why. I'm a medical entomologist, and today I'll show you exactly how a mosquito decides who to bite, why some people get eaten alive, and what actually stops it. Quick note, this is informational, not medical advice, and the narration is my own cloned voice reading a script I wrote and fact-checked. Here's the first thing most people don't know, and it's the key to everything. Only female mosquitoes bite you. Males never do. They spend their entire lives feeding gently on flower nectar and never touch blood. Biting is exclusively a female behaviour, and here's why she does it. She isn't drinking your blood as food for herself. She needs it as raw material, a concentrated hit of protein and iron to produce a batch of eggs. Without a blood meal, she simply cannot reproduce. So every single bite you have ever had came from a female gathering the protein for her next batch of eggs. Hold on to that one fact, that blood feeding is about reproduction, because it explains almost everything else she does. So how does she track you down across a dark garden? In 3 stages. First, from a distance, sometimes over 10 meters, she smells your breath. Every time you exhale, you release a plume of carbon dioxide, and that plume is a beacon. It tells her a warm-blooded animal is nearby and roughly which direction. This is why you often get bitten more when you've been exercising or talking a lot. You're simply breathing out more carbon dioxide. Second, as she gets closer, she switches to body heat and moisture. Mosquitoes can sense the warmth radiating off your skin and home in on it. And third, up close, she reads your body odour. And this is where it gets personal. Your skin gives off a cocktail of chemicals, lactic acid, ammonia, and various carboxylic acids produced by the bacteria living on your skin. The exact blend is as individual as a fingerprint, and mosquitoes have strong preferences. This is the real reason 2 people at the same table get bitten completely differently. So what puts you on the menu? Several things, and most of them aren't your fault. Body size and metabolism. Larger bodies and faster metabolisms exhale more carbon dioxide, so larger adults tend to get bitten more. Pregnancy is a striking example. Studies have found that pregnant women can attract roughly twice as many mosquitoes as other people, and there are 2 physical reasons for it. A pregnant woman breathes out significantly more carbon dioxide, around 1/5 more, so that beacon is stronger, and she is literally warmer. The increased blood flow of pregnancy raises her skin temperature, especially across the abdomen, and the extra heat pulls mosquitoes in. More breath, more warmth, more bites, through no fault of her own. Your skin microbiome matters too. The specific mix of bacteria on your skin drives your scents, and people with a particular blend, with less diversity of skin bacteria, tend to be more attractive to mosquitoes. That one you can't easily change. Then the smaller factors, all supported by research. Dark clothing makes you easier to see against the horizon. Exercise raises your lactic acid, and annoyingly, even a single beer has been shown in studies to make people measurably more attractive. What is not a strong factor, despite the myth, is eating garlic or taking vitamin B. The evidence there just isn't there. Now, this is something I can speak about from my own research because I studied it directly. People are often astonished to learn that Britain has approximately 34 to 36 native species of mosquito, and plenty of them will happily bite you. I ran a survey on the Isle of Sheppey in Kent, a stretch of coastal marshland notorious for its mosquitoes, and as it happens, the very last place in England to suffer a malaria outbreak. What we found was striking. Nearly a quarter of people considered mosquitoes a serious problem, and almost 40% said they simply couldn't sit out in their own gardens on summer evenings because the biting was so bad. And the timing confirmed what we said earlier. Around 70% of the biting happened in the evening and at night. Just along the coast at Sandwich, biting rates of 200 mosquitoes an hour have been recorded. So if you think British mosquitoes are harmless, tell that to the people of the Kentish marshes. Which species is doing the biting depends on where you are. On the marshes in summer, the main culprit is a salt marsh mosquito called Aedes detritus. But in towns and cities, the one most likely to find you indoors is a form of Culex pipiens, the molestus type, nicknamed the London Underground mosquito because it thrives in the still water of basements, drains and tunnels, and will bite people after dark all year round. Its ordinary cousin, by contrast, prefers to feed on birds. And when people ask me whether malaria could return to Britain, I actually did the sums. Only a trickle of travellers carrying malaria parasites ever passes through a place like Sheppey. On average, enough for perhaps one to arrive every 20 years, and they're almost always diagnosed and treated quickly. So, locally transmitted malaria is a remote risk, even though the Old English malaria mosquito, Anopheles atroparvus, is still out there in the marshes. Now the bite itself, what looks like a single needle is actually 6 thin tools bundled together. She uses them to saw through your skin and hunt for a blood vessel. And here's the part that matters most. Before she drinks, she spits. Her saliva contains anticoagulants that stop your blood clotting, so it keeps flowing. That saliva is the whole story. The itchy red bump isn't damage from the puncture. It's your immune system reacting to her saliva proteins, releasing histamine. That's why bites swell and itch, and why antihistamines calm them down. For most of us, it's a minor irritation, but some people react badly with severe swelling and, in very rare cases, a dangerous allergic reaction. And critically, that same saliva injection is how mosquitoes transmit disease. Malaria, dengue, Zika, they all ride in on the spit. The bite is a two-way exchange, and that's what makes this the deadliest animal on earth. Humans have been fighting these diseases for centuries, and one weapon left a rather delicious legacy. Back when the British were stationed in colonial India, they took a bit of medicine called quinine to ward off malaria. Quinine genuinely works against the malaria parasite. It was the first real treatment we ever had, extracted from the bark of the cinchona tree. The trouble was the taste, brutally bitter, so they dissolved it in sweetened fizzy water, tonic water, and then, being who they were, added a measure of gin to help the medicine go down. That's right, the gin and tonic began life as an anti-malarial. But before you order one for protection, don't. Today's tonic water contains only a tiny trace of quinine, nowhere near enough to touch malaria. The drink survived, the medicine in it did not. It's just a lovely reminder of how deeply these insects run through our history. So what actually stops her? Let's separate the evidence from the marketing. What works? Repellents with DEET or Picardidin or oil of lemon eucalyptus. These don't kill her, they jam her sensors so she can't find you. For serious protection, permethrin sprayed on your clothing, not your skin, is extremely effective, and the single most powerful thing you can do at home costs nothing. Tip out standing water. Any container holding water for a week can breed hundreds of mosquitoes. Remove the water and you remove the next generation. What doesn't work, despite being sold everywhere? Those ultrasonic repellent apps and wristbands. There's no reliable evidence. Citronella candles are very weak and short range, and bug zappers mostly kill harmless insects, not the mosquitoes biting you. So the next time you're the one getting eaten alive, remember, it's not bad luck. It's your breath, your skin chemistry, and your body heat marking you out to a female gathering protein for her eggs. If you want to know which repellents I actually recommend, I've put evidence-based links in the description. And if you found this useful, subscribe. Next time we're tackling whether climate change is about to bring tropical diseases to Europe. Thanks for watching.